swimming around looking for something new to watch that's interesting? Well, try the free gift show. You can jump in with us anytime and pick up a show and enjoy yourself. And don't forget to invite your friends along to make comments during the show to qualify to win different prizes, which we'll pay for the shipping to ship out to you. So follow us and come along, and let's see who we interview and who we have on the show. It's quite a few interesting guests, I'll tell you that. Well, hello, everybody. As I promised, we have today Agastya Arunachal from India. This is his first book that he's publishing, and he is super excited, like anybody should be, about doing your first book. Agastya, what provoked you to want to write a book?
Hello, everybody. Well, I passed out from Delhi University some 3 decades ago, and we are lots of friends of that time are in contact with me. Sometimes we find time to meet with each other, not only on phone or chats, and that time is very beautiful time for us. Everybody is engaged with his or her present day life. He's facing problems there. He's paying attention there. But when the old friends, they used to be together, they remember the old days. So some such sessions occurred. We remembered our old days. We remembered our old friends, old incidents, the incidents of college life, the university life. And that day I was very much relieved. So at night I felt that if I'm so relieved, everybody can get relief. Every professional is having a tensed life to some extent. That the nature of that tension can be different to person.
Exactly.
But
and you're going back really far. This is when the 80s and the 90s, when you were
80s and the 90s. Right. I entered Delhi University in 88, and I passed out in 90. I did my graduation in 91. And post-graduation in 93. So this is the 80s and 90s. This is the period to which I have narrated there.
Yeah.
Later on,
I think we're looking at, this is really about 40 years ago. And
30, yeah, right.
Yeah, a lot of your friends and colleagues, of course, have really done well in industry, and some have not done so well. And others have done better and been through struggles. You've lived a whole life.
Yeah, that's right. And later on, I thought that why it should be limited to the old friends. Why not to with our kids, the present generation? So how can the present generation be motivated?
Yes.
Through our stories? So that was the basic purpose of writing this book.
Yes, I like that a lot. I thought that was ingenious on your part, to involve today's students and to make your book relevant, not just as memories from the past, but also to be for a benefit for today's student. That was so smart on your part.
Right. Actually, there are many issues of that time which are obsolete now. Like we are chatting, you are US, I'm in India, but we are chatting one-to-one. At that time, even making an STD was a problem. And we had to go early morning to Janpath in central Delhi to make a call to our parents or some other STD.
Wow.
So that is nothing but it's the present day generation can't accept that, can't feel that pain, and the politics behind the making call. If you are going at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's night, so you have to accompany with somebody Why somebody is going to accompany just to make call with others? So that
And
was one interesting stories.
did your phones in India, did you have to put a coin in there?
That was for local calls.
Okay.
Ah, and if you have to make the trunk call or the STD call, you have to go to the Janpath. Later on, STD booths were created, but not at that period.
Right.
So these things are obsolete for present generation, but
I
they should
know.
know. They must know. They must know.
We were
But
laughing the other day about carrying a small bag with a lot of the American quarter and dime in there, and you have to put in, like 15, 20 coins for the
20
call
points.
to go
Right.
to, and then while you're talking, it would come through, please deposit
Hmm.
25 more, and you'd have to put more coins in while you were talking, and the person could
Right.
hear it on the phone,
That's right. So that was one phase. The present day generation can't feel that phase. They can hear, they can read, but they can't feel that phase. We have felt that phase. So feeling something is a different thing. That makes your in depth, takes you to the in depth of the thing.
Yes.
But there are some issues which are relevant to the present day generation also, like attraction to the other gender. This is universal. This is beyond time limit. It was there with us. It is there with the present day generation. But not attract what it turns into. The attraction to the other gender. There can be successful. There can be not. If not, then what to do? You don't have to fear. Pain will be there, but you don't have to go deep into the pain. You
Absolutely.
have to, yeah. So these things are no doubt it's tough to do it. But how can there is philosophy? It can be different from for one individual to other. But if you stick to a philosophy, you'll be able to find your way out. Every individual will be able to find his or her way out. Similarly, there are other problems related to academics, related to the language problem. What are these? And how to tackle these? What is the effective way to tackle it? Again, I'm saying that there are different ways. There are different ways for each and every individual. But if they stick to a particular philosophy to handle those challenges, they can get into it.
Absolutely. And I've got some questions today for the audience all across the world in 205 countries and territories. My first question today that I was interested in is um, who has been the most successful student from your class? And what did they do? What have they become? Was it you or was it somebody else?
I was a mediocre student. I was not. Certainly, I was not. The student who topped in my class is at a middle level. One student or many students who were mediocre in the college time are doing well in today's date. So, at what time you are giving your full attention to the issue, that matters. College time, okay. College time to those students, college time was okay. It was as usual. Let it go. But when they passed out, they started thinking what to do, what next, how to live the next life, coming life. Let's use life. And when they got serious to their studies or whatever they wanted to do, they are successful today in different fields, whether business, whether bureaucracy, and the army, not many things. So it
Yeah.
all depends. It all depends what is the time you are choosing to give your full effort. If it is the college period, fine, that is the base. It's later. It's never too late. It's a saying. It's never too late. So you can begin from there. So,
That's true. That is so
like
true.
you
And
can you can.
one of our heroes here in America, actually, he comes from a Black American family, and of course,
Mhm.
another one we have from an Indian American family, our current Vice President Kamala Harris, and so it's
Yeah.
just amazing to see, you know, just very average people who were mediocre students can do so well later on in life. The one gentleman I mentioned previous to Kamala Harris, he actually he said a straight C student all through school. He never got any B's or A's, and yet he went on to become a general in the American Army and the Secretary of State. But he was always very proud of being a straight C student.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it is
So
true what you were
what?
saying. If
Uh,
you apply yourself and you keep working, it's okay if you're a mediocre student.
hmm, it doesn't matter because you have got potential in yourself. You don't know what potential is there and how to utilize that. When you started feeling, okay, I can do this, and you start working over that, you are
Yes.
bound to get successful.
Absolutely. My other question today is have you lost any students that you heard about their death? And how has it affected all of the class within your heart and your soul and your mind? Have you lost anybody?
Yeah. It has started from the student life itself. And I'll tell you one very interesting story of my hostel, Ramjas College hostel. Not many, well, there were 177 students in the hostel at that particular time, at every particular time. So one of them was, he became a terrorist. And one student, he joined security forces, and he was in the border security force. The terrorist friend, he was underground. He became the area commander of his organization. At the same place, the other friend was also posted, who was in PSF. One fine evening, that underground terrorist friend, he came out to get something from the market. He was pointed by the other friend who was in security forces. He challenged him and he opened fire. In the encounter, he was died. So I'm not getting you. I'm not getting your voice. So one friend killed the other one for
Wow.
that foundation. That's foundation. Some of friends died in other actions, and they were in the army, and they were, as you know, the frontiers have got problems, so they died there. Some got in accident, they lost their life. But last 2 years, 2.5 years, it was in 2020 and 21. This was horrible,
Yes.
and it was horrible for the whole world, including India. And I can you believe that for months I didn't go to the Facebook because every day I used to get messages of trying somebody or somebody's family members. So I was very much scared. What the hell is going on? And this brought big negativity in my mind. Everybody's mind it will get. So the best way out is to get out of social media. So
Yes.
for quite a long time, I was away from the Facebook. But it's there. Gradually, I have to accept the fact because that is the fact. One has to, if somebody has come to this world, he or she has to die one day. This fact has to accept in a way. One has to accept. So, if somebody dies for the nation, I feel proud of him. And if the other friend who's died as a terrorist, I'm not that much interested in it. And uh, Yeah, the epidemic like Corona, COVID-19, if it kills, this is another kind of it. Where you could do nothing and you lost your life. And this happened all over the world. So I don't know how can I explain this, but certainly some very much. I was pained very much when I got this kind of news from an newspaper.
Well, here we have the book actually, the
Yeah,
front cover of your book, and for us English speakers out there, we can clearly see the word college if you look very closely up on the
yeah,
top of the building. And what are we looking at here when you decided to select this drawing? Could you explain this for us?
yeah. This is now prohibited in India. This is ragging. At that time, it was not prohibited, and ragging had two aspects. Yeah, well, the senior, you can see in the left side, one senior is there along with his girlfriend, and the right side, there are some freshers or fachus. And you can look at their dress. The inner cloth is has been put over the shirt. This was part of ragging at that time, and this was the way to make interaction between the juniors and the seniors. Later on, the ragging had a bad taste. It was not that much friendly among the seniors and juniors. So the issue was raised, and it was banned. But in 80s and 90s, if I'm talking about 80s and 90s, it was very much prevalent there, and was the way to bring close connection between a senior and a junior.
Sure, sure, absolutely. I'm familiar with these traditions from the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, they're definitely banned
Yeah.
today, but many of us went through them and had chickens tied around our necks, and they try to get you to eat goldfish and, intimidate you, many different things. The back of your book, um, you know, if you could explain to us what you decided on the back here.
Yeah. The first portion is about the book. What is this book all about? What we are discussing at the moment. So that has been summarized in the first portion. And the second portion is about me.
Oh, okay.
It's my introduction. Yeah, I was in the university. At present, I'm into the field of journalism. In the course of time, I had left lot many experiences, and what those experiences I'm having there. So these are two parts.
Well, just amazing folks out there. If you're interested in picking up this book being featured here today, Fachchu came to Delhi to study. It is available on Amazon. It is in hardback right now, just recently released this month, 10 days ago on September 15th. This is the Hindi edition. Agastya, when can we expect to see the English edition? Will it be a little bit later next year? Or?
It's I think it should come by the middle of November.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so we will be able to get this in English.
in
Uh,
English first. Yeah,
yes, for everyone who's fascinated with Agastya's travels, he is a good friend of ours, part of the Friends of Rotary, and also this book is this a? I notice here it's available in paperback.
it is available in paperback, but some issues are there with the Amazon, and the pricing they have not done. This is pricing for US edition, so that
Okay.
is okay. It's fine. But in for Indian edition, they have put wrong prices there. So I've appealed there, and they are waiting for the result. Similarly, Kindle edition is also available, but
Okay.
yeah, and for US it is different edition. For India, it's different edition. And I got the news that Kindle edition is not working. I have that for
Oh,
that also. I have appealed Amazon to correct the issue. It's the font issue, corrected, so that because Kindle edition is that I personally I feel that it is better. We
yeah.
don't use we don't use paper for that.
Yes.
If and use of paper means you are cutting trees.
Yes.
That's not environment friendly. So I believe that e-books are more preferred, and it
Yeah.
should be more preferred in coming days. It should get momentum.
Yes.
And
Now, will you do this as an audiobook or hire an actor to read the book? Will it be available on
I
audible.com?
audiobook, the audiobook, it's also in pipeline. And after the English edition, I'll work for audiobook.
Oh,
Some of the
good,
recordings,
good.
yeah,
Yeah, I just
because
did my first audiobook ever about 2 years ago. Yes.
okay, and I produced my audiobook that was for Indian farmers. That was also in Hindi language, in and by the at the end of 2019. And later on, I came to know that I was the first person in India to produce an audiobook for farmer community, which is the
Wow.
largest community for of India. But
Yeah.
okay, we have got not very much. The Indian culture is not very compatible to audiobooks at the moment, but it must get momentum. It will get momentum. It
Yeah.
got get momentum during lockdown period, 2020 and 21. Even the audible.com, which is supposedly one of the largest audiobook platform of the world, they came to India to create Hindi versions of old novels. And in the first segment, they prepared Hindi novel for say around 250 old Hindi novels.
Very nice.
So at the present, it's not that popular, but it's getting momentum, and I think it should. And I'm sure that I'm going to create an audiobook also. I don't know how much will it be successful, but that's not the criteria. The thing is, it's matter of future. It's our future. It's future of next generation, and it has to give momentum for that. The ebooks and the audiobooks.
Yes.
But I personally feel that both the formats have got some problem, but differences. For the
Yes.
ebook, you have to put pressure on your eyes, and after some age, your eyes get are weakened, and that's natural process. Even you have got a specs on your on you, and myself also, and this for everybody because this is the age factor. It's not that for ear. Ear is not that much sensitive as that eyes. For audiobooks, you put pressure on your ear, you can maintain the level of audio according to yourself.
Yes.
Every individual can do it.
My wife listens to the audiobooks because she has to drive 1 hour to the big city here with
Exactly.
skyscrapers and
Hmm.
1 hour back home. Some nights she'll call me and say, there's an accident. It's going to be an hour and a half to get home. And so
Yeah,
she is listening to the audiobooks ferociously. And we have a lot of people who enjoy listening to 10, 20
right.
famous books per year. They're doing
Yeah,
the audiobook. They have a subscription with Audible.
that's another aspect. That's one
Yeah.
more aspect. When you can utilize your traveling time by
Yes.
hearing audiobooks.
Yes.
When you are driving a vehicle, you can't read, whether it's hardcover or with the ebook. But you can utilize that time by listening audiobook. Most of the people they utilize the time by listening music or radio or something like that. That can be converted into audiobook. Audiobook is recorded radio, you can say. If you are interested in listening what you want, that is the time when you can utilize that. This is
Yes.
another advantage with audiobooks.
And would you mind, as we close out our show today, to speak in your own language? We are running here, of course, in English and Hindi,
Mm,
different translations for folks so that they can follow along as to the name of the book and what the book is about. But it would be nice, I think, for everybody in the world to hear the beautiful mother tongue there of your country And so please give us a description about the book in your own language.
Sure. फच्चू आया दिल्ली पढ़ने। ये फच्चू कौन है? ये फच्चू है फ्रेशर, जो दूर दराज से आता है, बड़े शहर में आता है, मशहूर यूनिवर्सिटी में आता है, मशहूर कॉलेज में आता है। कल्चर दोनों का अलग है, दोनों की संस्कृति अलग है, दोनों जगहों की संस्कृति अलग है, और वो यहाँ आकर चकाचौंध हो जाता है, चुंधिया जाता है, उसकी आंखें चुंधिया जाती है। वो यहाँ ग्लैमर देखता है, बहुत सारी चीजों को देखता है जो उसके घर में नहीं होती है, कंट्री साइड में नहीं होती है। वो उनसे किस तरह निपटता है? यहाँ उनसे बहुत सी परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़ता है। बड़ा शहर तो बड़े खर्चों से कैसे निपटना है? क्योंकि छोटे शहर में उसे तो उस हिसाब से पैसे मिलते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, उतने पैसे काफी नहीं होते, वो भी एक समस्या है। मेट्रो कल्चर है तो यहाँ पे अलग अलग जगह से लोग आते हैं, तो उनकी भाषाएं अलग होती हैं, उनके तौर तरीके अलग होते हैं, व्यवहार अलग होता है। उनसे कैसे निपटना है? जो भाषा जरूरी है उससे कैसे ये होना है, उसको कैसे सीखना है? तो ये तमाम तरह की परेशानियां होती हैं, हर किसी के लिए होती है, हर समय में होती हैं, पहले भी होती रही हैं, आज भी हो रही हैं, आगे भी होती रहेंगी। इनसे निपटना जरूरी है। कैसे निपटें? आप उसका कोई फिक्स फॉर्मूला नहीं है, लेकिन उसका एक सिद्धांत, एक बेसिक सिद्धांत के अगर हम पालन करें, बेसिक फिलॉसफी पर हम पालन करें, तो अपने लिए हम रास्ता तलाश सकते हैं। यही है फच्चू आया दिल्ली पढ़ने।
Well, thank you so much. Great to have you all the way across the world with us today on the Free Gift Show, and we will be looking forward to the English edition. And just I think to follow along with you, my final question today for you, Agastya, is if you were a crayon in the box of crayons, which color would you be and why? So if you were a crayon in a box of crayons, which color would you be and why?
I'd like to be white. You know, have you heard about Vibgyo?
No, not yet.
Vibgyo is combination 7 colors. V for violet, I for and white color is combination of all 7 frequencies. So white color is one color which involves all the frequencies into it. Then it becomes white. So your red is there, green is there, blue is there. So if you are white, you can have all of them. That's why I like white.
Well, thank you. I know that was a surprise question. We don't tell people what our questions are going to be. We don't send them a list.
Vibgyor is in English, and we used to say Baini Ah Pinala in Hindi. Bagni, Neela, Asmani, Hara, Lal, and these are lights are different frequencies. So these are 7 frequencies which are clubbed into one. They make white.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. Really appreciate it. I look forward to the English edition, and I'm also excited, honestly, about you doing the Audible edition. I know it's a bit daunting, and we always have technical problems that need to be fixed as authors. And having published 10 books myself, it was very difficult with the Audible book. I was doing auditions of actresses to read the book, trying to make the decision. Then you have to sign a contract with the Screen Actors Guild, a SAG-AFTRA contract. You have royalties to discuss and try to figure out how do you want to do the royalties. It's not so easy as it took me by surprise doing my first audiobook. I've done the printed books, the e-books, and now the audiobook. And this year, my daughter and I completed my first ever video book. We worked on that together. These things are not easy to do out there, folks. So I want to wish Agastya, I want to wish him very well, and congratulations on publishing your first book.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But one thing I would like to say, Audiobooks, okay, in the initial period, like film, making a film, they are painful. But once
Yes.
they are prepared, they are forever.
Yes.
They'll never be.
Well, good luck to you,
Thank
and
you.
thank you.